I'm Mike Silver. We're in Automated Dynamics in Schenectady, New York. It's a advanced composite manufacturer. Does a lot of aerospace work, and I'm working with Raphael Vignoli's fellowship program to develop architectural applications for technology normally used for making airplanes. Actually, the inspiration for the composites projects came from a television show that I saw on History Channel. They had a thing on business jets, and I saw in the background a machine, and it was on the screen for about 2 minutes. And I got a name and telephone number, called them up, visit the factory. This was the Raytheon Premier One business jet factory, and I went out there and saw these airplanes. And what was really exciting about seeing how they were made was the incredible fabrication facilities, but also creating these airplanes that were extremely light. I could pick one up, and also I could go and examine actually how these things were put together. They were completely unconventional in the sense that they weren't, frame and panel structures, and they weren't, aluminum frames with stressed skin put on them. They were really high-strength composite shells with no frame. So there was this lack of a frame panel dialectic within the construction. It was basically a radically new structural skin, and it was incredibly thin and extremely lightweight. So my initial interest in composites came from the experience of this kind of construction. But again, most of the thing that fascinates me here is the ability to really deal with a structurally instrumental material that does something new, that's beyond the conventional glass and steel and wood that we're normally used to. And the other aspect of it that's very intriguing is it's all robotically fabricated, so you can start to control the design of the structures on a fiber per fiber basis, and therefore you can also control with the computer in a very precise way how you implement your designs. And basically a lot of structures today are over-designed, and this is a way of designing very specifically so you can put more material where you need it, and you can have less material where you don't need it, and so you can control that on a local scale, on a fiber by fiber basis. So automatically I have another way of thinking about skin as not an applique, but something that's structural, but also an enclosure. You have the ability to eliminate the frame versus the panel as a dialectic, and you begin to sort of open up new potentials for form. So I began to think, well, Corbu's early Maison Domino typology, where the skin was sort of free floating from the structure and there was no sort of relationship, could be kind of called into question. And we were more interested in how nature made things like structural surfaces, like cocoons and spider webs, basically just sticky stuff on high strength protein fibers that then get meshed together like a spider web. So this is basically the same principle of construction, but the actual use of the material is not only for making enclosure and surfaces, it's also making structure.
I like to say it's the engineers, the composite engineers and the programmers that make it easy for the architect to come up with a new architecture.
Right.
And I think the collaborative aspect of this project is really the key, and that it's a close association of the expertise of many individuals, also including people that are not here right now, that allow us to push the boundaries of thinking about architecture, allow us to come up with new ideas, and allow us to really make things that actually work. And I think that's really the beautiful part of what Vignoli is allowing us to do with his support of the fellowship.
Again, working with a person who's been experienced in the field for 30 years, you learn more in one day with that person about your own software and your own process of working than if you just spent your entire life in representation and modeling on the computer. So getting out of the computer and getting information into the field involves, again, working with all these sort of experts and people that know what they're doing. So again, basically getting taken to school by a craftsman